Hey, what's going on YouTube? My name is James and welcome back to another video. So today I'm shooting one from the new apartment, which we should be moving out of very soon. I'll update all you guys once we get into our new place. It's just things haven't worked out at all how they should have, but I'll explain everything with Nadine once we do get moved out. But anyway, before we do that, quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing the Oris Artix GT and I'm shooting this on my phone with the front facing camera, so sorry if it's a bit shaky. I just haven't had a chance to get everything out, like tripod and all that kind of stuff. But today we're going to be doing a viewer collection. Now I got this email yesterday and it was a really cool email. I don't know when I'm going to upload this, but today is the 12th, Sunday the 12th, so I'll probably upload this next week. But it's a viewer collection, and not just any viewer collection, it's the viewer collection of a 13-year-old, which I find really cool. So if you guys would like to send in your collections, then feel free. I'm doing viewer collections again. I know I had a backlog, and with this move, as you can probably imagine, I don't have my computer right now, so I don't have the backlog. So feel free to resend the email or just like reply to the email again so it comes up in my inbox. And I'll create a list again. Very sorry if you submitted it before and I didn't do it. I will do it this time, I promise. But anyway, I'm gonna read you guys the email he sent and then we'll go through his collection and I'll give him some advice based on the questions he asked. So he said, "Hi, I've been watching your videos for quite a while and I want to say that your videos are awesome. Thank you very much. I'm 13 years old, I'm a 13-year-old watch geek and I love watches so much and I love that you make videos all about them. Now, this might and probably will be your lowest class collection that you've been sent. Before you say no, I want you to give me your opinion on the collection and a few tips for the future. If this could ever be turned into a video that would be beyond my dreams, but let's get into it." Pictures at the bottom. So before we get into this, he's a 13-year-old kid who is into collecting watches. Now, any collection at 13 is incredible, in my opinion. Like any watch collection, and you're 13, like that's awesome. I wish I started when I was 13. Who knows where I'd be right now, but let's just get into it. So the first one is a Baume Mercier Classima 8589 chronograph. I got this recently as a bar mitzvah gift from my uncle. This was what really kicked my obsession into high gear. What are your thoughts? So I'll list all the watches and explain where he got them from and why, or I'll just read the email, then we go into the watches. So next is a G-Shock GA-100, and it was also a bar mitzvah gift from some family friends. It's a great watch for sports and stuff like that, right? Then there's a stainless steel Swatch that I got for graduating elementary school. Crazy achievement here. I couldn't find the reference or the model number, but it's a quartz chronograph and it's great for casual life. Next is another Swatch, which I got at the airport because I had a little extra travel money and it caught my eye with the shimmery dots around the dial. I couldn't find the reference number anywhere online, but it's a quartz and it's pretty similar to the Swatch Town Hall. Finally, we have the Seiko SKX 009. This was actually the first watch I bought myself. I did a lot of research and I persuaded my parents to let me buy one, and I love it. For school, I alternate between this and the G-Shock. It really is my favorite piece because I bought it and it serves me very well. It's very true. So what are your thoughts? Where should I head considering that I don't have a salary or that much money at all? Where should I go? I was thinking that I need a dress watch in my collection. What do you think of the top 3 vintage dress watches under, say, $250? I could probably ask for something for my birthday or something like that. Again, it would be amazing to get your feedback. But of course, a video would be beyond my dreams. Thanks very much, Ben. So Ben, thank you very much for this email. It's really cool seeing someone so young getting into this hobby. And that's why I'm so honored to be doing this video, actually, because I think it's just a great reflection of our community and that there are younger people getting into it and watches aren't just for old people. So thank you very much for sending me this email. I really appreciate it. But let's get straight into it. So your first watch that really kicked it all off is a Baume Mercier automatic chronograph. Now, what can I say? What a cool watch! What a cool watch! If I'm not mistaken, it's using an ETA, or it might be using a Valjoux 7750. I'm not too sure. That is a Valjoux 7750 layout. I'm not too sure what movement it's using, to be honest. This is all completely off the cuff, so everything will just be as it flows through my head. Really cool watch. I absolutely love it. It's got the date on it as well. It's a 12-hour chronograph. Like how freaking cool is that to kick things off? A Baume Mercier chronograph. Baume Mercier is a brand I think are pretty cool. I haven't looked into an awful amount. I don't know their history, but I do find them very cool and that they are Swiss. It looks great on that leather strap. You can't really go wrong with this. And you were saying about a dress piece. I don't see why this can't be your dress piece. I think this is very dressy and it looks absolutely great. What do you guys think of this piece? I honestly think it looks awesome. It's a very, very cool chronograph to start things off. And next was your G-Shock. Now, as I've mentioned in the past, I'm not a huge fan of G-Shocks. Now, I understand G-Shock, and I understand why people love them, and I can understand why so many people love them. Like, I bought one for my dad as a gift. They're great watches, and I have nothing against them. Just for me, aesthetically, they don't fit what I am at all. But for gym, like you said, for working out, for just going out as a beta watch, perfect watch. My only concern is it being jet white. I don't know how long you'll be able to keep that clean, but it looks pretty clean so far. So, yeah, really cool watch, and I don't think you can go wrong with a G-Shock at all, and that could definitely be your beta. Next is a quartz chronograph from Swatch. I think Swatch are awesome. For those people who want to get into watches but don't have a lot of money, man, the Swatches are so cool. They do so many different designs. It's just like such an easy watch to get things going, and such an easy watch to buy as a gift for someone to get their obsession started. I bought my little sister a Swatch. She loves it to bits. She unfortunately lost it, and I bought her another watch. But yeah, the Swatches are great, and this is a really, really cool looking chronograph. I like that it's a bit different. You know, you got separate sub-seconds at the bottom, which is smaller, and then you got the two chronograph dials, which are huge, and it's a really, really cool watch, and the striking yellow as well. Very, very nice. And then the next one is the black Swatch. It's a very basic Swatch, but I get what you mean by the shimmery dots. It's very cool. And at 13 years old, I can imagine you wearing this very, very well, and it just looks great. So good choice. I think a very fun watch. And then to finish it off, a watch that I have owned and have sold and have made plenty of videos about. You guys know this. So that is the Seiko SKX, which I see you have on a NATO. Really, really cool watch. I think SKX is a great automatic watch. I will never deny that. There was just certain things about it which I didn't like personally, but that's just me, and I completely understand why so many people would love it. So you can't really go wrong with an SKX. However, I would advise, if you could, saving up a bit and potentially flipping this piece for maybe, I was going to say maybe a paddy, but then I've got to remember the paddy's bigger and you are only 13. So at the end of the day, fitting your wrist side is going to be a bit difficult. So I'm not too sure. I think it's a great watch. If you enjoy it as much as you say you do, don't flip it. Just keep it. It's a great watch. But yeah, I think your collection is incredible. Not just for a 13-year-old, just in general. What a cool collection. You know, you've got an automatic chronograph in your collection. Like, that's freaking awesome. And then you've got some really fun pieces which obviously hold a lot of meaning because they were bar mitzvah gifts. So that's really, really cool. And in considering how you said that you don't have a salary and you don't get that much money, where should you go with your collection? I think you're 13. I think you should go and get a paper round or just something, wash cars, do something on the side to earn a bit of money. Not for watches, just in general. I think that's what you should be doing. That's what I did when I was your age, and I just think that's the good direction to go to get you into that habit of working. So I'd advise doing that anyway. There's a bit of life advice, but definitely put a bit aside for, watches. And I think you could very easily save up enough to get some really cool watches, maybe even a Seiko 5, but you've already got a Seiko. It really depends on what you're into. And right now, you're so young and your collection is in such early stages, it's hard to see, a pattern, a trend in what you enjoy. Because you've kind of got all the boxes ticked. You've got chronographs, you've got diver, you've got a G-Shock, you've got a fun Swatch. Like, it's difficult to tell a trend, and that's because you're so young. Once you've been collecting for a little while, that trend will start to show, and I'll be able to give you much more direct advice based on what I can see. But right now, you're in the early stages. Like, I'd say save up a couple of hundred, buy used on eBay, just different watches, and just have fun. Like, have fun with them watches, flip them, buy more watches, and just really experiment across the board in different watches, different genres, leather straps, bracelets, NATO straps. Like, just adventure into the watches and just see what really sticks with you. Like, through doing that myself, I've found that sports watches with a day-date complication on a bracelet are my perfect watches. Like, I can't think of anything better. Or at least a date complication, maybe not a day date, but just that's what I absolutely love, and you find that out by just experimenting with different watches. You think you need a dress watch? If you think you need a dress watch, fair enough. I think your chronograph can very easily be pulled off as a dressy piece, but your top 3 vintage dress watches under 250, it's very difficult. Under 250, I know very little about vintage. I know that you could probably get a vintage Omega Geneve, under $250. I'd say try and source one of those, maybe even the DeVille's. I think you can get an old DeVille under $250. Great watches, great sizes, but one thing I'd advise way under $250 is a Citizen Eagle 7. I always go on about this watch, you guys know, I love it to bits, but you can pick them up for like 50 quid, so about $60, $70 in great condition. I've got one right now, so if you are interested, message me. That wasn't at all intentional. It needs a service, so it'll be after I get it serviced, and I might keep it actually. It's a really great example of a Citizen Eagle 7, but Citizen Eagle 7's great watches to be found. So I'd advise one of them. You could even go old Seiko 5s. They can be dressed up as well. I'm just trying to think what else vintage around that price. There's loads of things. Just search watch and just go vintage and just like look on eBay and just scroll through until something takes your eye. Just be careful buying vintage. Make sure you're buying the seller. Make sure you know its service history and how it's running and all that kind of stuff. And you could ask for something for your birthday. Definitely ask for watches for your birthday. If you would rather the money to put towards a better watch, then definitely do that. But don't be afraid to ask for watches for your birthday and things like that. Like, that is so cool. Your collection at 13 is great. I can't imagine, like, I couldn't have imagined myself being there at 13. Like, I'm barely getting there now myself at 19. So mate, you're doing great. Keep up your collection, keep up the hobby, and guys, definitely let him know what you think of his collection down below and where you think he should go with his collection. I think he's too young and he's too fresh into this. I think he needs to just buy watches, flip watches, buy watches, sell watches, experience watches, sell watches, buy watches. Like, just get into that habit, have some fun for like a year or two, and just really find what you enjoy and go down that route. Because right now you're hitting all the boxes, and that's really cool. And just experiment. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did even, leave a like. I'm sorry if I spoke at 1,000,000 miles an hour. I need to cut that out, but my arm is aching, as you can imagine, holding this phone up. So I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you for watching. Take care and peace out.